In the beginning of the story, we find a farmer Lencho with his family in a house on the crest of a low mountain. Lencho's family is the only one that lives there. From Lencho's house, his field of ripe corn can be seen easily. Here his wife was cooking and his children were playing there. Lencho was expecting a rain for the better yield of his crops. It started raining soon. As soon as Lencho found the rain, he started comparing it with the silver coins. But to his utter surprise, this rain was turned into severe hailstorms. As soon as Lencho found this, he was terribly scared. But Lencho's children were happy to find the hailstones. They started comparing it with the frozen pearls. Lencho was terribly scared and he was thinking probably this hailstorm will not be there soon. But it started more than an hour. After these hailstorms, nothing was there. Everything was completely covered up with snow. The flowers, the corns, and the trees were already spoiled. Perhaps everything was covered up with a blanket of salt. Lencho was terrified. He started realizing that probably this year there will be nothing to eat. Probably they would be starving for the rest of the year and there would be nothing for them to survive. But he had a firm belief in God. On the following Sunday, he started writing a letter to God. He started with the letter that the God must have to help him to survive for the rest of the year. And he mentioned that the God has to give him 100 pesos. Pesos means it is a kind of currency, a Mexican currency. So Lencho prayed for that and promised that after a good harvest that year he will completely repay this amount to God. After writing this letter, he keep it inside an envelope and on the envelope he started writing to God. Means he mentioned the address of the God and after this he dropped the letter into the post box in the post office. The postmaster found the letter and he started laughing at that. The postmaster was a fat person and a very kind-hearted. In the beginning, he started making fun of it, but later he understood the serious condition of Lencho and he requested other employees to give him some amount so that he can manage this 100 pesos there. On his request, the other members, means the other employees of this post office, gave a little bit of their salary and at last the postmaster contributed some pesos from his salary as well. At the end, the postmaster was able to collect 70 pesos. He was unable to manage 100 pesos and he kept the 70 pesos inside this letter. On the next day, Lencho was over there. On the next Sunday, Lencho went to the post office a bit earlier. He had a strong belief that God will give him a reply, and the postmaster had given him the letter where he has signed in the name of God. Lencho was not a bit surprised to find a reply from God. He opened the letter and as soon as he opened the letter, he was disappointed. He was enraged to find only 70 pesos. He requested the God for 100 pesos but find now 70 pesos there. So he was enraged to find it. And as soon as he find this 70 pesos, he started writing another letter. He took ink and paper and started writing. He wrote the god that this time the god will not send him the money through this letter. Means Lencho did not want to receive the money, the rest amount of 100 pesos, that is 30 pesos, from this letter. He wanted this to receive it by himself from the god. And he assumes that probably these persons, these employees inside this post office are the bunch of crookers. Means they are the thieves who has stolen the rest of the 30 pesos. He had a firm belief that God has given him 100 pesos, but this employee has stolen the rest of the 30 pesos. So he has written the letter, dropped it there, and went back home. So finally, in this point, the story ends up. This story is ironical in the sense that Lencho, who was helped by this postmaster and the other employees of the post office, did not realize all these things and blamed the post office employees, to whom actually he would have to be grateful. So this is the ironical sense that Lencho was not able to realize the help of the postman and his employees. Rather, he blamed them and called them thieves. So that's all, student. I hope all of you have understood the story very well. If you have any problem, let us know about this and we will help you to solve your problem at an instant. Have a great day, students.